Hey, welcome back everybody to Dude and His Drones. So today we are talking about the latest and greatest invention from DJI, the DJI Air 2S, and the top accessories that you're gonna actually wanna get for it. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for supporting me. If you do like what you've seen here, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and check out the links. If you buy using one of those links, it does help support me and the channel and keep me going and doing this. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to get a real job. And first, let me start with the number one, and that's the Fly More combo kit. So I think the smartest thing to do is to get this one right off the bat. The only reason why I would say not to get this is if you already have a Mavic Air 2, in which case you pretty much have everything that this comes with, which it comes with this nifty little bag, this little USB battery to USB charger, so that you can connect it to, right here like this, and then you can actually use this as like a power bank. That's one of the many cool things it comes with, as well as, what else does it come with in here? Oh, the charger, the 3-bay charger, which does not charge simultaneously. This is a common misnomer. This really isn't the greatest piece of technology because it only charges one of these at a time, whichever one is, I think, the highest charge. It'll charge that one first and then move on down the line. It's great, so when you're done flying, you can just put them on there and charge it, but it doesn't charge them all simultaneously. So number one though, like I said, get the Fly More combo kit unless you already have a Mavic Air 2. And then you already have spare batteries, because these batteries are actually the same exact batteries. In fact, these might be my new ones, they might be my old ones, I don't know. They're kind of gotten intermingled at this point. You get all these cool things, like I said, with the Fly More combo kit. And one of those, and it's probably gonna be one of my things on the list here, is ND filters. And you get a nice 4-pack, a 2, 3, 4, and 5 stop ND filters. If you don't know what that means, let me know in the comments. I can explain it to you, and maybe we can do a video in depth more about ND filters in the future. I know I've talked about them before in the past, but people always have questions about them. So you get this with it. Oh yeah, you get some extra propellers as well. Very well worth it in my opinion. And this set of ND filters way better than the Mavic Air 2 set, because the Mavic Air 2 set only came with 3. There was one missing in there somewhere, so you had to buy the other set of ND filters in order to get the full set, where this will pretty much cover you in, I'd say, 80% of all situations. It's only when it's super bright outside that you're gonna need a higher stop, like an ND 64. So this goes to ND 32, which pretty much, like I said, covers every situation except for the most brightest situations. So ND filters. Next up, all right, so since I already have these on there, let's talk about these. So this, we got propeller holders, right? So what these do is they're captive of the propellers, so they make sure while you're in transport, they don't, get caught on anything or bent or broken. And these are my design, and one thing about my design here is that they're captive. They don't actually hold the propellers down. So what that means, let's see if you can see that, is they actually have room to move, so you're not putting any undue pressure on them over time. Same with these bottom ones. They're just, there's not a whole lot of room at the bottom, but they're just captive so that they're not bending your props. Now, not to be, biased and only showing you guys stuff that I make, I actually, I went flying. I bought a set of the PGY Tech propeller holders for the Mavic Air 2. Pretty much almost every accessory from the Mavic Air 2 will work with the Air 2S. The only exception that I know of, I have right here, are the MAS Master Air Screws propellers. And they don't, because the way the body here is set up, this is actually, it's raised up higher here. So these actually contact the body when they're on the Air 2 here. So that's one of the accessories I know, that I know doesn't work with Mavic Air 2. So let's try these out. Now I'm going to tell you I don't like these, and the reason why is instead of being captive like mine, they actually put pressure and they hold down. You see that? They hold these down, so there's a tiny bit of pressure being applied, and these are slightly bowing. And what could happen is those could bend over time. And then when you go, you know, say you leave it in the case for a week or two or a month or two, and then you go fly it one day, and then all of a sudden it's not acting right because these are slightly bent. The motors are acting weird, or it's flying weird, or it's giving you warnings. So that's basically my only complaint. I do like the bottom one, but it's not as, again, it's not as good as mine. I sound so pretentious, but first off, it doesn't clip in. It uses the propellers to hold it in place. So it's actually, the props are kind of holding it there. There's nothing captivating it. So you see that? Like, it's just there. So they just pull right, it pulls right off. I don't know how good it's gonna be going in and out of your case, but I bought one just to check it out. They're pretty cheap. They're only like 12 bucks. And where mine, I think I have them set for 10 bucks and usually a 30% off sale going on. So 7 bucks plus shipping. You're looking at about the same price, but beware of these PGY techs because they put pressure on the propellers. You know, you may not want to use them. And let's be real honest, how hard is it to go like this? Oh my God. It's not like these propellers are very hard to get off. I'm trying to work with two cameras here. Propellers are not hard to get on and off, so the main reason why to keep them on is to get yourself up and running as fast as possible, which is good out in the field or when you're going from like place to place and you want to just be set up ready to go. So that's propeller holders. What shall we do next? Okay, let's look at another cool thing that works with the Air 2, the Mavic Air 2, and also the Air 2S, and that's one of these dropping mechanisms. So if you checked out one of my older videos where I actually used the Mavic 2 Pro to drop some paratroopers, so I'll pop that up. You can.
Oh, it's too heavy, I think.
Well then, you got to deploy a 250. If you can, come on.
Check that out. Probably maybe one of the funnest times I've ever had with a drone, next to flying in a canyon with the FPV drone. That was amazing. But yeah, you can set up this little boy, bad guy right here, and the way it works is it has a photoreceptive cell on there, this right here, and when you turn the auxiliary light on and off, it'll actually cause this mechanism to open and close. This right here, just that opens and then it closes. I think I just broke it. It just uses a servo to open and close that, and you can drop things with it. Be very careful though. Don't drop stuff on people. I did make darts and played lawn darts, basically. Like I said, you can go check out that video. On top of it. But cool. Another cool thing that works, pretty much any leg extensions from the Mavic Air 2 will work with the Air 2S. There's a pair that actually came with this drone dropping mechanism, so I didn't even pay extra for that, but it works. And let's switch over to, now I'm going to pull out the Air 2 just so you can see what I got going on here. We've got a couple strobe mounts, and basically what these are for are to mount strobe lights on the drone. And now you're probably asking me, Tommy, or dude, my name's Tommy, if you didn't know that. Tommy, what the heck is this going to be good for? Why would I need strobe lights on the drone? And the reason why you need them is for night flying. You can also use them to help you locate the drone during the day. So it can be very useful if you're pushing the boundaries of your visual line of sight. But also, this is required. So we have front and rear and a top mounted strobe light, so that when you're flying at night, you can both see the drone and know where it is, but also these are anti-collision lights. So they're required for night flying, which if you are Part 107, you can now fly at night without a waiver. It no longer requires a waiver. So real cool thing, but you need these as well as training, but that's a whole different topic. But yeah, so get these mounts, mount them on the drone. It'll help you see it during the day, but it'll also make sure you're compliant with the FAA at night when you're flying at night. Something I'm working on is, this is from Firehouse Technologies. I'm not a big fan of Firehouse, and I'll tell you why. About a year and a half ago almost, so last Christmas when I kind of started blowing up on my YouTube, I put out some stuff. I made a strobe light mount for the Mavic Mini, and I used to make it where you could just, if you were a 3D printer, you could just buy the file from me and then print it yourself. Well, the guy who runs and owns Firehouse Technologies actually bought the file from me and then proceeded to sell it online without my permission. And then when I confronted him about it, he tried to be very blasé about it, as if it wasn't a big deal. Now, the reason why I didn't really support making this for the Mavic Air 2 is because I don't like this guy. He's a slime ball, but he does make the best lights, strobe lights that you can find right now for any drone. So as much of a slime ball he is, and I don't like him, he makes good products, and yeah, I still buy and use them. So he came out with the Arc 5 last year, which is this giant thing, completely unnecessary. I prefer to just use the Arc 2 here, which it's not a huge difference here. You got an extra LED, and it's a more compact and like better presentation. It weighs more, and it's not as small as this one. So I am working on a design for it to go with the Mavic Air, or the Air 2S, but I need to know if you guys think I should continue to support this guy. I don't think I should. So there, we got lights out of the way. Oh, I didn't. So I normally hand catch my drones and hand launch them, but you can get these nifty launch pads. This one's a nice one that folds up very easily and slips into your bag, and it's weighted, feels good. That's PGY Tech's. And then I also sometimes bring this one with me. Hopefully I don't screw everything up. It pops open like that. And also very easy to use. It comes usually with stakes, so you can stake it into the ground. I probably should have started with this, but another very, very important accessory you need to get, you probably didn't realize you needed to get, is probably like 6 or 7 SD cards. I have more than that, and I use them all the time, and I lose them, and because I have 9 drones, and I have like 6 cameras, so I'm all the time buying more of these. And this is the SanDisk Extreme Plus. I use 128 gigabytes for pretty much everything, because they run about 20 bucks, and they usually come in 2 packs, or I usually get them in 2 packs from Costco. So I have a whole bunch of these SanDisk Extreme Plus SD cards. We were on batteries earlier, and I skipped over this, but something I came up with. So if you're concerned about your batteries terminal pins and maybe them shorting out or anything like that, or getting debris and stuff like that in there, I have these green and red battery terminal covers that just cover this up, which is a requirement for traveling. When you're traveling by plane, they require your LiPo batteries to have the terminals covered. So this will cover that for you. Just attach them. I have the green and red ones so that you can stick them in your bag. Basically, green means it's charged, ready to go. I know you can just press the button, get the same thing, but this is an easy visual. You go, oh, okay, this is a good battery. Once you've done discharging it, put that green one on, throw it back in your bag. And then if you're like me, I have 6 batteries now. I want to know which ones are charged at a glance. Let's move on to the controller. So first things first, we have, this is my actual Mavic Air 2 controller, and we're gonna take the hood off. So one of the things that I designed and created last year for the Mavic Air 2 was this lanyard holder, this lanyard mount, so that you can mount your phone, put that on there, and then bam, you've got a nice balanced holder. So that way you can just throw this over your neck, and now you can just hold on to this, no problem. It's also good for like riding your bike. I use it when I ride my bike because it can just hang and dangle, no big deal. So this lanyard holder, I came up with this idea. It's not genius, but a whole bunch of other guys copied me after the fact. And then moving on to the next thing would be a Sunhood. So this right here, it's a cheap Sunhood, and basically it just goes over your phone like this. And I say like this and realize now y'all can't even see what I'm doing. So let me just put this on and I'll show you. So there you go, there you have it. It was a little bit more difficult to install. So I recently decided to go try out DJI's own Sunhood. This one right here, which is really cool because it, just like this one right here, it folds up nice and small. So, it goes into your bag very easily. And then to put it on, it actually goes on much easier than that other one. So let me see if I can, bam. So that's it. Now we put those sides down and she's all together. It took seconds. I really like this Sunhood. I think DJI did a very good job in actually creating this one. And so, yeah, I recommend getting this one from DJI if you're going to use your phone. So we still got a nice balance there with the lanyard holder. But say you're not going to use your phone. Say you want to use this iPad Air that I have right here. Big honkin' tonkin' 10-inch iPad. And it is wonderful. It sits on there, no problem, using this iPad holder I designed right here. Now, I've been using these for over a year now, since I designed the first one last May, and we're now again in May. So about a year now, I designed these, and there's a bunch of different ones out there. Like it's funny how many big companies actually copied my design. I mean, it's not a super complicated design, but they did copy it. I'm gonna warn you though, if you get this one for like the iPad Air or the full-size iPad, you are going to have to get a new cable, a new USB-C cable. So USB-C to iPad, or this one's USB-C to USB-C. So you need to get a new one if you're going to use that. Now I also have right here, this is my #1 tablet for the Mavic Air, and that's the iPad Mini 5. And again, we have our mount here, works perfectly, and along with the lanyard holder. But the iPad Mini 5 here is in my opinion the best, because it's still a large screen. You got a nice good sized screen, but you don't have to replace your cable here. The cable that comes with the iPad actually works perfectly fine with all of this, all these devices. So if I'm recommending one, I'm recommending the iPad Mini 5. So yeah, that continues to be my recommendation. And then you can also get for it I don't think this is for the full-size iPad, but you can get a Sunhood for this as well. I don't have the mini Sunhood right here, but yeah, as you can see. So links to everything will be down in the description. I think it's the last thing. So one of the questions I get asked pretty often is about editing. What do I use to edit? Now, I have a very powerful computer that I spent thousands of dollars on to edit. But recently, I picked up a new device to try editing on. So I use DaVinci Resolve. Studio in order to edit. And with that, I picked up this is the new MacBook Pro with the M1 chip. Now this one was the 16 gigabyte model, which I recommend to get the 16 gigabyte model, but you can get away with the MacBook Air, which also has the M1 processor, but it's quite a bit cheaper. The only thing is you have to add some active cooling to it, which check out Linus Tech Tips. They did a cool little story on how to do that modification to the Air. This is what I've been trying out to see if it's pretty good at editing. It's not bad, I'll tell you, it's decent. It's not great. I ran into problems when, if you guys seen a video I did where I was doing the comparison to the Mavic Air 2, to the Air 2S, to the Mavic 2 Pro, to the Mini 2. And once I had like all 4 of those on a timeline stacked up at 4K, it became very hard on the MacBook. So, but I'll say that was the case on my desktop too. So it's pretty good for what it is. Now, you could also spend about $1,600 on a decent laptop and get yourself something with like a 3080 or a 3060 in it, 3060 Ti maybe, at that price point. So if you are looking for, hey, what do I edit on? What do I need to edit on? You can look at this MacBook, or look at getting yourself something that has a RTX 3060 or 3060 Ti at a minimum in it. You can't use a laptop with onboard video. It's just not going to work out. And the other cool thing I have that goes with the DaVinci Resolve is the speed editor, which I got not too long ago, which actually speeds up the editing process quite substantially. Let's see if you guys can see. So you can see I actually have a jog wheel, which normally, so this thing runs $300, but normally at a minimum, you're looking at $1,000 to get something like this. Blackmagic, who makes DaVinci Resolve, they have a bunch of different types of these. This is the smallest one, but the next size up it's like $1,000. So if you're looking at a fast editor, and check out DaVinci Resolve. You get the speed editor. If you buy one now, I think right now it comes with DaVinci Resolve Studio, DaVinci Resolve Studio 17. I already had DaVinci Resolve from my Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 4K, which I sold not too long ago. But yeah, I think that's it, guys. Let me know in the comments what you think about each one of these, and I'm gonna see you next time. Thanks for watching.